Hi guys! So today I really wanted to share with you my drugstore foundation slash face routine. This is a routine that I swear by. I back it up 110%. I do it about 3 to 4 times a week. I like to switch things up, but this is a foundation routine that I do, like I said, quite often. I didn't just go to the drugstore and pick up like random drugstore products and then sit here and just show you a drugstore face routine just to put it out there. No, like I said, this is one of my favorite routines. Totally back it up, and I hope you guys try it out because it is a good little routine. I did want to incorporate some color correcting because I feel like it's super popular right now. Everybody's doing it. I was reading this Cosmopolitan magazine and it was an ad. It's an ad by Sephora and they have a ton of cool color correcting products, and I was like, wow, like I really want to pick up this Sephora Pantone one. It looks really fun and cool, but I was like, well, what about the drugstore stuff? I bet there's something at the drugstore that will do the exact same thing. So I went over to Target and picked up the NYX color correcting concealer palette, and I was like, yeah, why not just incorporate this in this video? This is going to be the first time that I color correct. The only type of color correcting that I do pretty much on a daily basis, and I just started this recently. I've been using the Becca Under Eye Brightener Corrector right underneath my eyes to combat that purpley pink and blue that I have underneath there. So that's the only color correcting that I do really, but I figured why not do something new today. And of course, if you don't want to color correct, the foundation routine that I'm going to show you is awesome. You don't need to color correct, but I figured why not? Let's do it. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's be different. So that's what I'm going to do today, and it's all drugstore stuff like I mentioned, and it's a routine that I do often, and I know you guys will like it. So let me just stop rambling and let's get into the tutorial. So to start off, I do have a little bit of like purpley blue and even some pink underneath my eyes. It's not terrible, but I do want to color correct that. I'm gonna take this like salmony color, and I'm using this Sigma Precision Angled P84 brush, and I'm just going to kind of dab this right underneath my eyes. I have to say, this palette is super creamy. I love it. Oh my god, this reminds me, the consistency reminds me a lot of the Becca Under Eye Brightener, and then I'm going in with my finger just so I can feel what this product, feels like, and it's actually really nice. I'm usually scared of products in pans and stuff because I feel like they're a little bit thick, but this is really creamy. So far I do like it. As you can see, there's a huge difference between this eye and this eye. So far, so good. I'm going to wipe off any excess product that's on the brush, and I'm actually going to go right underneath that peach, and I'm going to put some yellow right underneath. I feel like that's going to help brighten up underneath my eye a little bit. I do have some redness around my nose, have some redness on my chin, so I'm going to pick up the green very lightly and put it right on the sides of my nose, and then also a little bit on my chin. I am also going to pick up some of the purple and put it right on the corners of my eyes. I do have a little bit of discoloration right at the corner of my eyes, and I hate the way that looks, and I want to brighten it up. So I'm just going to take some of the purple and put it right there. That's pretty much the only area where I would put the purple. I really don't have any yellow on my face, or at least I don't think so. I'm actually going to go back into the green and just cover up some of my little acne spots here that are red. So this is all the color correcting that I'm going to do. It might look like a lot of product on my face, but I really didn't put that much on. And you don't want to do what you see on Instagram or anything like that. I feel like people just apply so much corrector on. That's just going to make your face look cakier and cakier and cakier, because think about it. You're putting on a color corrector, you're going to put on a primer, you're going to put on foundation, and it's just like more and more products on your face, and you're just going to look super cakey. So just apply a little bit, and all you're trying to do is neutralize the color, so you don't need a lot of product. So I'm just going to press this into my skin. It's okay if you see colors still popping through, because once you put that foundation on, everything is going to turn out to look even, and you won't see the colors underneath that foundation. So just press it in a little bit, and then we'll move on to foundation. So you can see some color still on my face, which is totally normal. That's perfectly fine. So now I'm moving on to foundation, and this is one of my favorite foundations ever. This is the Covergirl Ready Set Gorgeous Foundation. I am now in 105. I used to be 110, I used to be 115, but now I'm super pale, so I'm the lightest shade in the whole range. And I love this foundation because it's light, it's not cakey, it's not heavy. It lasts for a good amount of time. After my like 9-hour shift, it's starting to break down, but it doesn't look bad. It still looks presentable, like I can still go out somewhere after work and I'll look okay. It has good coverage. It's not going to be full-on coverage, but it does have a nice coverage, and you can build it up and it won't get super cakey. So that's why I love this foundation. So what I like to do is just dot it all over my face. It doesn't dry super quickly, so you can dot it on your face and then blend it out and you'll be totally fine. So after I dot it on my face, I just blend everything out with a beauty blender. Sometimes I'll use a Real Techniques Beauty Complexion Sponge, but today I'm going with the beauty blender. I forgot to mention that this is a semi-matte foundation. It's not drying whatsoever and it doesn't cling onto my dry patches. So this is my face after color correcting and applying foundation. I do have to say my face does look a little bit more flawless and a little bit more even since I color corrected. When I just put on foundation and I don't color correct, I feel like you can see more red and more like purpley pink peeking through. So I do so far really like this color correcting palette. I think it's really, really creamy and it's a good consistency. I will say though, it is creasing a little bit more underneath my eyes than my Becca under eye brightener. I mean, the Becca one is super expensive and pricey. I don't mind that the NYX one is creasing a little bit because I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna tap it out quite a few times, and then I am gonna go in with some concealer and stuff. So it doesn't bother me too much, but I want to let you guys know, for those of you that hate creasing and don't want that to happen, I just want you to know that it is creasing a little bit. But you can't see any of the colors on my face. You can't see the green, you can't see the purple, you can't see the peach at all. Everything blended out really well. The foundation I absolutely love. I feel like you can still see my skin. It's not like a mask, and it just gives a beautiful even coverage, and it's not cakey, it's not heavy. It's like the perfect foundation ever. So usually after foundation, I move on to my eyebrows and my eyes. So I'm gonna move on to that, and then I'll be back to finish off my face. I'm back. I finished up my eyes. I used the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette, and I'm not super impressed. I did a tutorial quite a while ago, but I am so disappointed in the way this eyeshadow turned out. I'm like, I'm about to kill somebody. But I wanted to share with you guys the concealer I used. I used the Rimmel Match Perfection Concealer, which is my absolute favorite drugstore concealer. It is the best. The consistency is awesome. It's not too heavy and it's not too light either. It's creamy. It has good full coverage. So I put it right underneath my eyes in like an upside down triangle, and then I blend it out with my beauty blender. So after I blended out my concealer and made sure there weren't any creases, I set that concealer with the NYX HD Finishing Powder in Banana. I love this stuff so much. I reached for this over like the Anastasia Banana shade and all of that. I think this is a really good drugstore powder. This is going to help brighten my under eyes, so I just pat it in. Today I used the Morphe, I believe, where's my brush? Here you go. It's the G8 brush, and I just pressed it into my skin, and I also set my forehead with this just to brighten up my forehead and also my chin. I'm just going to quickly set the rest of my face. I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Powder. As you can see, I hate this powder. It's terrible. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to swirl it in. This brush is the Real Techniques powder brush. And I'm kind of like dabbing it in. Dab. Kind of like pressing it into my skin, but I'm also going to lightly swirl it. Now it's time to contour. This is one of my favorite parts. Today I'm using the brand new Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. This one is just in bronzer. They also have a light bronzer, but this is awesome. It is the perfect like shade. It's not too cool, but it's not too warm either. I love it. I'm using my Sephora contour brush, and I'm just going in, tapping off the excess. And what I like to do is just focus it right here in the in my cheekbone area. So kind of do this. I go back and forth, and I go back and forth, and then after I do that, I like to go in circular motions just to blend it out. Now I'm going to go ahead and contour my temples. I'm just picking up some more powder and focusing it right at the temples, so on the sides of my forehead, just so my face looks a little bit more chiseled and all of that. I will drag it across my forehead, but not too low because I don't have a pretty big forehead. I think my forehead is pretty normal, so I'm just going to drag it right across very lightly and like close to the hairline. So just like eyeshadow, blending is super important. So anytime I put a powder or a product on my face, I have to blend it out. So after I contour, I usually take my e.l.f. Kabuki brush, but I can't find it anywhere. So today I'm using the Real Techniques powder brush, and I'm just going to blend out the contour a little bit. So now that we blended out the contour, I'm moving on to bronzer. I bought this maybe a month or so ago, and I really like it. I've been using it a lot. This is the Milani Baked Bronzer, and I'm going to use this to bronze. I'm just going to use a little bit because if I use too much, I can look a little orange. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit on this Morphe like powder brush. I'm just going to apply it in the same areas where I contoured. Blend out again after I bronze, just because I want those two colors to really mix together and blend well so that my face doesn't look patchy or muddy or anything like that. Now onto blush. I love this one by Physicians Formula. It's the Happy Booster Blush in Warm. I'm picking up some of this with an angled Sonia Kashuk brush. So I just add it right towards the back and blend it out. And then of course, after blush, I'm blending out again. Blending is key, guys. Blending is key. So before I highlight, I like to just clean up my contour a little bit. I don't bake or anything like that, but I will take some of the setting powder that I used for underneath my eyes, picking some up on this e.l.f. small tapered brush, and just lightly blending it out. I'll bring it up to my cheeks, right underneath my eyes. Now it's time to highlight, and my favorite highlighter from the drugstore is by Physicians Formula. It's the nude, natural nude shimmer strips, all-in-one custom nude palette for face and eyes. And I have a review and also a tutorial using this on the eyes. Super pretty. So I pick some up, tap off the excess, and I'm putting it right on top of my cheeks. Okay, and then of course, lastly, we're gonna blend that highlight out. We're gonna blend the whole face out again, last time. Alright guys, so this finishes up my drugstore foundation slash face routine. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said previously, I do this routine often. I love it. I do it for work. I do it if I want to go out. It's a great little routine, and I hope you guys try it out. It works very well for me. I do see myself using the NYX Color Correcting Concealer Palette again. I really like the way my face turned out. Like I said, my face looks a little bit more even, a little bit more flawless after I used this rather than just jumping into foundation. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to follow me on Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!